It is in fact Spooky Month, the month in which for some reason it is tradition for the burger-eating, baseball-playing part of the world to forget the meaning of stranger danger, the month in which everyone for some reason puts cinnamon in things and calls it pumpkin spice, where young women wear the same black outfit with a bit of fake blood and then go to a party vaguely apparently themed like Halloween, calling themselves devil or vampire. I don't know, it's... You know what I mean, it's that fake black outfit with a little bit of drizzle. Sometimes they go to a little extra and they have fake devil horns for $2. Now, you may be saying, but ho, why do you hate Halloween? Why are you mocking our culture? I actually am not. I find it to be a load of fun, and dressing up in silly outfits should be encouraged. Don't take life too seriously and all that, and there's many photos of me dressed as Santa Claus or Julius Caesar in a horse mask to back that up floating around. I do take issue with the whole stranger danger thing for kids, because I, personally, as a parent, I find it very strange at the thought of my children walking up to someone's house and going, hey, can I have a lolly? It's a bit weird, but that's just more me. But with that in mind, I decided to do the normal thing content creators do when spooky season rolls around, and I decided that I would do a spooky themed video because I in fact am a professional YouTuber and a professional YouTube content F-list semi-not celebrity. Yeah. That's right, we're on our way to the Balkans for this little foray into the spooky season, and no, I don't mean we're going to do the thing that everyone does and look at Dracula. Oh no, look at Dracula, wow, he puts Ottomans on spikes. Yeah, and I put it in my thumbnail too to make you click it. Haha, made you click. Oh no, see, Romania has a proverbial kit bag of eldritch horror-themed stories just hiding in the back room behind the Dracula exhibit. And we're going to have a look at a couple of them. Starting with the Trevale Forest. Ooh. We start with the Trevale Forest in the region of Piesti, not too far from the capital, Bucharest. This forest is allegedly haunted by the maiden daughter of a rich Romanian landowner. The daughter was apparently ordered by her father to be married to an old rich man in an arranged marriage, but she declared her everlasting love for the father's poor servant boy. A tale as old as time, honestly. Her family would never accept this, and on her wedding day she ran into the forest with the servant boy and lived happily forever. No, she didn't. This is a Balkan story. This is a Romanian legend, so it's about to get, Balkaned. The young woman's father chased them into the forest. His pride was insulted, and so he searched and searched before he found them, murdering his servant and then, decapitating his own daughter. Look, I warned you this was about to get Balkany, okay? I warned you. It is said that the decapitated ghost of the bride exists to this day, prowling the forest and being spoken to by worshippers of Satan through rituals. It is said that the curse of the forest has lingered, with the legend saying that during the 1970s, or the 2000s, it varies, a taxi driver drove into the forest with a woman as a passenger, and he left her at an abandoned site as she requested. She paid for the fare with her wedding ring. The taxi driver then vanished, and woke up 10 years later, in a nearby estate, where he would find the news out that the woman he drove to the forest had killed herself after her husband had died on their wedding day that same day. The driver then looked to his left and found the rotted finger with the woman's ring on it in his passenger seat. Spooky. Paneri Castle. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation, Romanians. It's not going to be good. Yeah, that's all I can say. It's not going to be good, and I apologize. Your language is quite difficult, but I do appreciate it. Okay, now I said no Dracula in this one, but he makes a little cameo here. Paneri Castle is positioned high on a cliff overlooking the Argus River, not too far from the forest we just spoke about in southern Romania. The castle is positioned perfectly to guard the strategically important Argus River Valley, and this castle was a fortress used by none other than Vlad the Impaler. Yes, that one. That's why I get away with putting him in the thumbnail, because he makes a cameo. The one who stuck all the Ottomans on spikes. Legend has it that during the Ottoman invasion of Wallachia, the Turkish troops trapped Vlad's wife in the fortress. Rather than surrender herself to capture by the Turks, she threw herself from the tower into the valley over 1,400 steps below, cursing the land and the fortress to those who enter. It is said that travellers who stay in the castle overnight feel a great chill as the temperature drops, and they feel the curse as they approach the walls up the long and winding paths. Some visitors have reported the smell of rotting flowers during times where there are none, of horrific dreams tormenting them, and of the castle's inhabitants biting them. Ooh. Okay, that last one was one guy who also got a rash from being there, but you get the picture, and it's also probably likely that it got cold because, well, it's a giant stone castle. Stone buildings get cold. But don't let that ruin a fun story. And now it's time for the House of Gavril Buzantu on Manta Rosi. Or Buzatu on Manta Rosi. Again, I'm not too sure on the pronunciation. It's the House of Gavril. We'll just go with that one. Sometimes in history there are just things that go together, like tomato sauce and meat pies, apple and cinnamon, strawberry and cream, and Romania and vampires. The vampire thing though is quite misleading, and it's really a bit of modern interpretation of the mythology from the region. See, in Romanian folklore there are these things called strigoi, cursed creatures who can turn into animals or invisible in some cases and gain sustenance from the blood of victims. It is likely that vampires and vampirism is an interpretation of this myth in particular. Strigoi became a real problem during the early modern period in Romania, apparently, and in 1882 there was actually a book published by folklorist Theodor Baranda. Apparently, and this is according to the experts, a strigoi comes into existence if they are killed from a curse by a witch. They YouTube-friendly term, self-delete. They die unwed. They die by execution if they have committed perjury. They die without a name. They just sin a lot and do a lot of naughty things. Or, and this is the fun one, they are the 7th child of the same sex from a single family. Look, there's not really a pattern other than, you die, but it's a Balkan fairy tale, so, yeah. But let's just run with it. Leaning into the vampire connection, these creatures apparently don't like garlic, onions, and incense, and they have bald spots with curvy spines. So if you're a picky eater with scoliosis and a bald spot, well, good luck, you're shit out of luck. You're going to get shanked with a stake. To kill a strigoi, the grave of a suspect must be searched, and the order is then read to them by a priest, and an oak, yew, or ash branch is then driven into their heart like a stake. So you can see where the vampire thing comes from. And that brings us all to a house in Iași, in the north of the country, where the so-called last executioner of Moldova lived. It is alleged that in this home a series of killings and atrocities occurred. It is said that Gavril Buzatu beheaded a series of thieves who are in fact secretly strigoi. Ooh. But notice I said behead, because he didn't drive the wood through their hearts, they still lived, and during the night it is said that the strigoi returned to this day, roaring and howling like beasts and then laughing at the top of their lungs. Former tenants, because apparently people still live in this house, have reported black creatures running through the woods surrounding the property, with flames lighting up the abandoned rooms and light running through the mansion on a whim. Sounds like a right party. Is any of this true? Maybe, maybe not. Is it not true? Perhaps. Is it spooky, and do I want to spend a night in an abandoned home full of apparent Romanian vampires in deep northern Romania? Yeah, hell no. I'm not rolling that dice. No. We have a bit of a shorter one next, but equally as, well, I would say equally as interesting. And that is the tale of the Iulia Hasidou Castle. Near Plătoisi, yes, the oil field Plătoisi, the one that everyone talks about in World War II, sits a folly known as Iulia Hasidou Castle. Now, for those who aren't aware, a folly is effectively a building that is built to look like something but with no practical value. Think a house that somebody has built to look like a castle. So you build like a tower and you build like a little wall around it, but it's not actually a castle. It would not work as a castle. It just kind of looks like one. Gets you the vibe, It is said that in the 1890s, a young woman aged 19 died here, and her father, Bogdan Hasidou, was so shattered and broken by her death that he turned to the devil. Bogdan simply couldn't handle living without his daughter, and he needed to speak to her to get closure and carry on. As a parent, I can understand why he would be so broken by the death of a child. So apparently, he went to the local Satan worshippers, because they're just around, and he organised a seance, and he had a chat to her. And apparently during those conversations, when they're having a chat about, stuff and things, she brings up the fact that she wants a nice house or a castle, and he's like, alright, bet, I can make a castle. So he makes a castle, but he asks the ghost during the seances to design the castle, so she does. And that's how it got built. The architect got advice from Bogdan, who got advice from the ghost of his dead daughter through a seance. Anyway, it is said that during the night, should you listen closely, you can faintly hear the piano being played by the ghost of a 19-year-old Yulia, raised from the repeated seances, which her now long-dead father sits in the corner, clapping in appreciation of his daughter's playing. Alright, last one, and I've saved a special one till last. The Hoia Forest, or Hoia Forest. Hoia Forest. I know the word Horia in Romanian, that's a good name, it's a friend of mine, but I'm doing my best on pronunciation. I'm so sorry, Romanians. The Hoia Forest, also known as the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania, yeah, that's a title and a half, is perhaps the most paranormal of all places in Romania, and possibly the world. This forest has been known for mysterious happenings for many years now, and has been described even as a gateway to another dimension. I'm not making that up, that's a genuine description used to describe the place. One of the more famous legends from this forest is that one day, a shepherd took 200 of his sheep into the area for them to graze, and they just vanished without a trace. Not even a lump of fur apparently remained. Those who travel to this forest, allegedly, report skin burns, redness, headaches, and irritation on the skin. If you stay for too long, you may find yourself burning with anxiety before you faint from thirst. In 1968, military technician Emil Barnier released photos that allegedly he took in the forest glades of a UFO, which according to UFO experts, were genuine. Villagers from the region have also reported unexplained physical sensations, and it is said that they have seen various shapes and coloured lights, shadows skulking around the corners, voices coming from the trees, and human faces. Look, I'm a little skeptical on that one with the alien thing because, well, I'm not going to say that aliens will come to the United States like Hollywood does, but for some reason I don't think they're going to go to the middle of a forest in Romania. I feel like they'd, go to a city like Bucharest and say, hi, how you going? That kind of thing. I don't think they'd just skulk around the forest. But anyway, the UFO experts said it was real. The vegetation, though, in this forest, well, that's where it gets interesting because it appears to be cursed. See, the trees have strange shapes with human faces etched into their trunks. In 2000, Alexandru Patrut, president of the Romanian Society of Parapsychology, caught a strange phenomenon in the forest around Easter time. A kind of sap flowed out of the trees like a river gushing from the top and soaking the grounds. The very next day, everything was dry, but he reported the strange sounds in the distance, for he could hear ambulance sirens, tires exploding, and even, it is said, a cuckoo clock. The forest continues to be haunted, and one only enters if they truly dare to play roulette. And there you have it, 5 spooky tales based on local legends in Romania. Now, you may be wondering why I have shared these spooky stories when it is likely that they're all really just nothing and can be explained with a bit of logic and then some applied history knowledge through folklore. Well, I have an answer for it. It's fun. And yeah, sure, they are most likely not all true at all, but if I had to pick a country to test local legends and folklores, you can bet your kidneys that I'm not messing around with Romanian ones, especially that mansion that's apparently full of vampires. You can keep that one, Romania, I'm not going near it. Either way, true or false, real or not, these tales make for some fun history, and a great insight into local tales and customs and legends. Through all of these stories, and if you look past the spooky legends, you'll actually learn a fair bit about the history of Romania and Romanians themselves. Because guess what? I just unwillingly force-fed you history knowledge. And I dressed it up as spooky Halloween tales. Haha. Gotcha. Isn't history fun? Either way, happy Halloween. Thank you for an absolutely brilliant month. I've thoroughly enjoyed making videos this month. And I will catch you all next time. Also, reminder in the comments, I'm considering doing something on the fall of communism in Romania. Let me know in the comments whether or not you'd be interested in more stories from Romania and Balkan history, particularly due around the late Soviet Union, that kind of era, or perhaps even the Balkan Wars, or the revolution that, well, created the modern country of Greece. Let me know what you think about that kind of part of the world, and if you'd be interested to learn more, because it's a pretty fascinating part of the world. Like, comment, subscribe, and even though I already said it, I will catch you all next time.